Alright, so you guys ever put on one of these for your plumbing? Kind of go over a couple ideas that might want to run around. Usually you get a kit like this. It's got one of these flappers. Would recommend always replacing the flapper when you do it. This is my opinion. You can do this my way. You can not do it my way. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. So, one of the things you always find on these things is the chain's always a little too short. The best way to fix that is to actually take the chain and twist it up a little bit. And what that does is that tightens it up a little bit so that it'll lift up high enough for it to open up all the way, and make sure that it has slack a little bit when it closes, and make sure that it won't catch on anything. Because one of the issues you run into is this thing will get caught on something and then it won't go down all the way, and then your toilet will run all day. That's not good. So up all the way, down all the way, up all the way, down all the way. Make sure it's snapped on both of these here. So to remove it, one of the tricks is it's kind of hard. Like this one's kind of hard to get to down in here. Okay. So what you run into, what I do is I take the old one, because you're going to ruin it anyway. You don't care. It's going to be bad. This is if your toilet's not even running. Well, that worked. Right into my bucket. So what I'll do is I'll hold the bottom nut, this thing, stationary with my pliers, and then I'll twist it up here rather than trying to reach down underneath and trying to see and everything else, and your face is in the old, poop that was down there somewhere. Yeah, right. Somebody forgot to wipe up. It's always fun when it's like that, right? So what I do is I hold it and then I twist up here, and then release, twist, until this one comes out. Little trick there. So I'm just going to kind of do a few things to know about doing these. Just so you know that if you twist this, if I can get this in the video, I don't have my stand here. Well, let's get it like right here. That's not going to work. How about if we do that? What you do is if you twist here, okay, if you twist this, this will lengthen and shorten. And then also this little ring on these things, and some of them have just, this will lengthen and shorten this thing. Okay, so it depends on your toilet, so you can actually lengthen this and shorten it right here by twisting this typically. So may not twist, maybe it might have little snaps on it, but usually this thing will lengthen, in the gray part will separate from the black, and you can pull it tighter or looser for your toilet. So then when you're done, you snap that thing back in place. So the rubber gasket goes on first. And have your bucket ready underneath there. And you take the line off. It's always a good idea, because there's always toilet water that won't go down. It's usually clean water. Put that on first. And again, when you get done, you have to adjust your float level. So I usually adjust it so that it's about almost to the top of this thing when it's off all the way. Run it a couple times. We'll do that in a little bit here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and put the nylon nut from the new one on underneath. Tighten that up. So mine, I had to twist it and lengthen it because it was a little too short, and you don't want it to be past the top of the toilet. So make sure it's not too high. You don't want it to be bumping that lid when you put it on here. So make sure it's got clearance, and then make sure it goes up high enough. Oh, maybe I need to take it up a little more. I don't know, I'm not sure. Just play around with it. You adjust it up to where the water, again, it goes right up to here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and connect up the line. And always when you're done, always check for leaks. So that's one of the things. You want to always check for leaks whenever you do any plumbing work, because everybody gets a leak. Almost all the time you get a leak and you got to retighten something. So when you get done with it, you just go ahead and adjust this thing to where so the water shuts off. I usually go about right here, about 1/4 of an inch or so from the top. And then get my flapper. I want to make sure she goes down on her own. And it does. to change the right length, it'll go down. So you gotta twist it up to where it's just right. Twist it, it shortens it. And untwist it, it lengthens it. So then we'll just let it fill up, and you adjust the float here. Once you get the right, you have to twist it here to make sure that it's at the right height, and then to do the final adjustment, you'll do it right here with this thing. But you'll see this won't go too, this will only go so far. You have to do a lot of it with the part where the black and the gray connect. So yeah, we're good right there. This hose is sticking up, that's actually okay, doesn't matter. As long as it doesn't interfere with this, okay? I could shorten it a little bit. I might just do that. I might just take this off right here and just give that a little cut. All right, so I shortened it just a little bit so she is like that with the lid on. As long as it doesn't, like I said, it can't interfere with this. We'll let that come all the way up again. The water is actually squirting down the hole. I don't know why they have that, but that's the way it's supposed to be. Maybe that actually fills up the float bowl, or the bowl. And that's what it does. Okay, so we're looking good. Put our lid on. And if you can see, the lid has like a area that little hose goes into, so it won't interfere with anything. Make sure that it doesn't do that. Now, we always double check for leaks, so move my bucket out of the way, clean the water up that leaked, the little bit that was there. I feel down here. I usually replace the angle stop with a quarter turn. So this is my angle stop. See, it turns off with a quarter turn. Those are a ball valve. You have a lot of issues. To do that, you're gonna have to turn off your water main. And I usually replace, if you have one of those plastic hoses on here, no, get rid of that thing. I've seen so many houses that they have that plastic hose, the cheap little plastic. I always get these braided ones. Those little cheap plastic ones. I've seen so many houses flooded and water damage from those hoses. I couldn't even tell you. So any of those times you have those plastic hoses, get those things off of there. Don't use those. Use the braided metal ones that look like that. Get a little nice and close, like that. All right, a couple little plumbing things for you. Talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. See what you haven't seen in the comments, and make sure you like the video.